Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, students. This is Dr. Mirza. Now we are on the last chapter of this course, that is chapter 10, corporate level strategy, related and unrelated diversification. Now moving on here, we can see this particular chapter deals with some of the important issues relating to diversification. That is, this chapter continues with the discussion of corporate level strategy that began in chapter 9, diversification into more than one business in the corporate level. So here, diversification in which profitability can be increased, transfer of competencies between business units in different industries, that is, leverage competencies to create business units in new industries, share resources, that is, between business units to synergize or economize or economics of scope, use product bundling, then utilize general organizational competencies that increase the performance. So here the chapter continues to discuss both the challenges and the opportunities created by the corporate level strategies of related and unrelated diversification. It examines the different kinds of multi-business models upon which related and unrelated diversifications are based, and then it discusses on different ways that the companies can implement a diversification strategy. Now, transferring competencies, this is increased profitability, that is when involving that is transferring competencies involves taking a distinctive competencies developed by a business unit in one industry and implementing it in a business unit operating in another industry, and it increases profitability when they lower the cost structure of one more of a diversified company's business units, enable one or more of its business units to better differentiate its products. Distinctive competency being transferred must have real strategic values, should involve value chain activities to increase profitabilities. You can check this in even your textbooks, which have different areas of transfer of competencies by, I think it's Philip Morris, and then understand the sharing of other competencies also. Leveraging competencies, as I just told you, firms can also leverage their competencies just by using them to develop a new business in a different industry. The multi-business model is based on the premise that the set of distinctive competencies that are the sources of companies' competitive advantage in one industry might be applied to create different or cause-based competitive advantage for a new business unit in a different industry. Now that is taking or developing unit industry in a new industry. Now, basis of model, companies' competitive advantage in one industry be applied to create a differentiation, cost-based competitive advantage for a business unit in a different industry. Sharing resources and capabilities. You have very good example, I think, given using capabilities in resources for Procter and Gamble, that is given in your textbooks also. Economics of scale synergies that arise when one or more of its diversified companies' business units are able to lower cost or increase differentiation more effectively, poor share, and so on and so forth. The sources of cost reduction is one more area, and then the leading of higher return on investment of real incurred. That is, now product bundling is an important one which is used there. In the search for a new ways to differentiate products, more or more companies are entering into industry that provide customers with a new product that are connected or related to their existing product. This allows a company to expand the range of product it produces in order to be able to satisfy customer needs for a complete package or a related products. So here product bundling is, it's important to understand providing products that are connected to each other allows companies to expand the range, providing customers a complete package. Goal is bundle products to offer customers lower prices, superior set of services, does not always require joint ownership, can be achieved through market contracts also. Here there are some entrepreneurial capabilities of organization design and then superior strategic management, other like competencies as I just told you, that helps the business unit with the units to perform at a higher level that could operate as a separate independent company, and how the skills of a company's top manager results in entrepreneurial capabilities, organizational design capabilities, and strategic capabilities. Now, related diversification, if you see this particular point in this, the important thing is a related diversification is a corporate level strategy based on the goal of established firm, unit, division in an industry that is related to a company's existing business unit by some form of commonality, that is common or linkage between the value chain function of the existing and the new business unit. The goal of this strategy is to obtain the benefit from transferring competencies, leveraging competencies, sharing resources, and bundling products. So here, as I can just see, basis of multi-business model taking advantage of strong commonalities and increasing the competitive advantages and using general organizational competencies it possesses. Unrelated diversification, as you can see here, is a corporate level strategy whereby firms can unrelate businesses and attempt to increase their value through an internal capital market and use general organizational competencies, or both. Companies pursuing these strategies are often called conglomerates. That is very important. An internal corporate market, that is corporate level strategy where the firm's headquarters assesses the performance of business units and allocates money across them. Unrelated benefits for internal capital exporting, you can read this, an advantage. These are some of the disadvantages. Then coordination among related business units. This is another one which talks about how a head office holds its way to the different bureaucrats and other important people in a company, and this is with another strategy that talks about how the importance is done in a household products, marketing, sales, package of good products, and then how they are shared to the customers. Now, related versus unrelated, you can just give a comparison if the question comes to you and asked about it, and nothing new. Internal new venturing, this is another part of related and unrelated venturing, diversification, transferring resources and creating a new business unit in the industry to innovate new kinds of products used by companies that are technology based and pursue related diversification. Venturing to a new emerging industry, that is internal new, that is how it showcases that any typical use to implement companies' corporate level strategies when a company possesses one or more distinctive competencies in the core business model that can be leveraged or recombined to enter a new industry. Now, here pitfalls. Pitfalls is three reasons are often put forward to explain the relative high failure rate of internal new ventures, that is market entry, poor commercialization, and poor corporate management. Scale of entry and profitability. Here Research suggests that large-scale entry into a new industry is often a critical precondition for the success of new ventures. In the short run, this means that there is a risk of major losses of new ventures fades. Large-scale entrants rapidly realize scale economics, brand loyalties they build, and then gain access to distribution channels all over, which increase profitability, which with new ventures successful. In contrast, small scale entrants may find themselves handicapped by cost due to brand loyalty and gain success of distribution channels. So the access to distribution channels is all that is what we are seeing here in this figure. That is the relationship between scale of entry and profitability over time. Successful small scale and large scale ventures. The figure shows the successful small entry is associated with lower initial losses, but in the long term, large scale entry, that is how it goes with particular many companies make the mistake of choosing a small scale entry strategy, which often means they fail to build a market share necessary for long term success. Now, guidelines for a successful new venturing, you can read this. Nothing much I can explain here. Acquisitions, also the same thing, we have discussed this earlier in chapter 4 if I'm not wrong. Joint ventures also. Restructuring is something very common, that is we have even gone through restructuring also, if you remember well, but I don't know, you might have forgotten. So let me just get you through what is restructuring. Integration, that is leading to different ways of entering new joint venture. Now restructuring is sometimes companies need to exit industries to increase their profitability and split their existing business into separate independent companies. Restructuring is the process of reorganizing and divesting business units and existing industries to refocus upon a company's core business and build its distinctive competencies. Reason why? Investors feel these companies are no longer have multi-business models. Complexity of the financial statements of high diversified enterprises disguises the performance of individual business units. Response to declining financial performance brought about by over diversification. Diminished advantages of integration or diversification from innovations in strategic management. Now, I think there are some other important areas you can check in your textbook also for cases given this particular topics. We come to the end of this chapter, gentlemen, and it has been nice to be associated with you all along these chapters. And in this semester, I hope you all enjoyed it. I have enjoyed being with you all in this semester. Take care of yourself. Wish you a nice career ahead. Be safe. Enjoy your life. All the best to you all. Have a good time. This is bye from your Professor Dr. Mirza Vekhar Ahmed. Have a nice day. Take care, gentlemen. Keep safe. Bye.